Hey everyone, my name is Nathan Payne. Welcome to another episode of Blu Ocean Crypto. Today we're going to take a look at the pre-launch Heroes of Mavia marketing update overview, which was recently presented by Marco on the AMA that happened just a little while ago. Now, I wanted to spend a little bit of time going through this with you guys. For me personally, this is very exciting. I'm a marketing consultant. I own a Web 2 and Web 3 marketing firm. We work with some of the biggest names in both industries. So I wanted to give you guys some insight on why I'm excited how they presented this marketing plan and really what it means for all of us landowners and people who are interested in the game. Because obviously we're all invested in the success of the game. So first is positioning and unique features. What makes Mavia unique, right? You need to understand your game before you can understand your target audience. And they talk about how it's a strategy game, a build, battle game, multiplayer game, and a PvP game. It's really multiple genres mixed in. They want to highlight the game experience, the iconic IP, and the player-to-player marketplace. Now, the iconic IP, I think, is really worth mentioning here because look at the focus on the art. Right? Every time Avon talks, he's super excited about it. We see the amazing quality in the game. We see them pushing the envelope with the 3D models, the VFX, the trailers are insane. This is going to pump out a lot of possibilities for content, for things that can be pushed, for ads. It's going to be awesome to see them build the brand. The player-to-player marketplace as well. How can they promote players being able to own and trade collectibles with real-world value, right? How can we help bridge Web 2 to Web 3? How can we bring people into the game by attracting them with this feature? So they talk about priorities. Now, Marco spent a fair bit of time on this slide, really kind of showing there's lots of different things here: target audience, the geos, the cost, the message, the strategy, the platforms. But right now, the target audience is the main thing they're focusing on. That's where they're collecting a lot of their data. They're already running ads. They're already getting cost per acquisitions below industry standard, which is insane to hear and really exciting. That's usually the thing that can take a while. So to hear that they're already performing this well gets me super pumped from the marketing perspective. I think we're in for a wild ride here. Now, of course, ideas are cheap, execution is hard. So this is just kind of the idea that we're hearing, but now we know that they've executed on the ads. So that just gives me that extra level of confidence. This isn't just their marketing plan and they've yet to deploy. Now, they do talk about what is the core target audience. Mostly between 18 and 35, 75% male users, 100% mobile users. It's actually kind of cool to see about a quarter are female. That wasn't the case, 20 years ago in Western society, but this is a global game. There's lots of different cultures, lots of different people playing the game. But when you know your marketing dollars are going to go further with a particular audience, you obviously want to spend your money there. It doesn't make sense to go way left field and try and experiment with things when you've got the data that shows you these are the players. Now, they also talked about how hyper casual is really the vast majority of people that they need to target. What's hyper casual? People who are picking up the game consistently throughout the day for 5, 10, 15 minutes. They might do it during their morning coffee, during their lunch break, when they're off at work, right before they go to bed. They're constantly engaging in the game, but they're not spending an excessive amount of time. These are the vast majority of the people that they need to target. They also mentioned their go-to-market roadmap. So tech features, tracking features. How do they track how long people are in the game? What are they actually doing in the game? How are they breaking things? This is really important, obviously. Also retention launch, right? So how do they get people to spend more time in the game? With engagement features? How do they get people to come back? How do they get people to log in more frequently? Monetization launch, conversions, how are we going to get people to buy more Sapphire? How are we going to create more demand on Ruby in the marketplace? All of this needs to be tracked. Then, of course, the official launch is with the final product. So pretty straightforward understanding that. Then they talk about the objectives. So with community, they talk about there's the pre-launch, soft launch, official launch. Their primary goal with our community is to foster engagement and activity among users. They want us, they want the player base to help build this up. They need that. They can't just run all these campaigns and nobody be talking about the game. So by ensuring an enjoyable user experience, they aim to keep their existing users invested and active in the platform. This is very important. We want the game to grow. We don't just want this big burst and then to die off. They're planning and their objective is a 90% user engagement. That's really high. But the thing that impressed me the most about this, guys, is the 85% user retention. That's amazing. Most games struggle to get something like that. And the fact that that's one of their objectives shows me that they must have some unique strategies and things to deploy in order to be able to get towards that. Now, they might not hit it, but that is definitely a good thing to aim towards, right? You want people to stay engaged in the game. You want people to continue to play. You want people to be able to come back. Now, Avon had kind of talked about this seasonal thing with the fire bases and how Path of Exile, one of the most successful games in his opinion, because it's constantly growing player bases, because its player base is constantly growing, because with every 11 weeks, there's a season that resets, so people can competitively always start at the same level. An issue with Clash of Clans, and a lot of you guys might be aware of this, starting now, you've got no chance of getting to the competitive level, period. You're not allowed to buy bases. That's against terms of service. You'd have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably at this point, maybe 150K, 200K. I don't even know what the number is now to max everything out. It would be insane. And of course, you could just lose that because it's not yours, it's not your assets. So people are getting left behind. You're either already at that high level competitive scene, there's no chance of new competitive players really starting fresh. User retention is going to be huge for that. We're going to get people to come back and play with these fire bases, to compete competitively, to be involved in esports. I'm really stoked about that. And then 70% user satisfaction, right? So people are happy with their experience. Now, this is a competitive game. People are going to get frustrated. So I think it's very appropriate for them to put 70% there, because when something's difficult, and actually I find these games have some of the steepest learning curve. It's like poker or chess. A lot of people can play it, very few people can master it. So without getting too off topic, they talk about objectives, drive awareness, engagement, conversions, virality. All of these are kind of self-explanatory, but of course you need to have these different objectives so that you can follow and execute on the marketing plan. I like that they just have these laid out. It shows that there's been careful thought and consideration put into everything that needs to be tracked. Biggest thing about marketing, data. You have to have data. You have to act on data. You have to find ways to make improvements. You have to constantly improve campaigns. You have to constantly improve engagement, awareness, all of this. If you don't have this structure foundation in place, none of the executables make sense. You're kind of just flailing your arms in the wind. So that's my biggest takeaway from this, is they've taken the time and effort and energy to put together this plan to build this structure so that they can have a successful game, because they're following Web 2 traditional marketing plans now. They don't have to follow the Web 3 I don't even want to call it pump and dump marketing strategy, but it's what it is. You drive a lot of hype during a short period of time around the token generation event, and then a couple other key milestones. Usually that's for the benefit of the company, not the players, right? We know how to market to games in Web 2. It's tried, tested, and true over the past decades. Now they can follow these models. That's fantastic for us to hear. They talk about creative and content, trailers, UA videos, UA statistics, gameplay trailers, marketplace tutorials, world trailer, character reveals, character stills, and CTAs. All this stuff is really awesome to see. I'm stoked for the trailers. I think this is going to help build the lore or the story or the background behind the IP. It's going to get people more invested in the characters. And of course, it's going to be important for Mavia to have tutorial videos out there. Yes, people can go out and look at videos that we're going to make, that other people are going to make, but having them directly from Mavia is going to make people feel comfortable when they're first getting involved in the game. They talk about user acquisition objectives, launch, learn, optimize. Well, what do those mean? Launch is awareness campaigns, traffic engagement, ad promo. Then they have to learn, channel performance, campaign, creative content. They're collecting data, and then they improve. When you look at this from a layman's terms, you just think, oh, this obviously makes sense. Why is this even being mentioned? The reason it's mentioned is a lot of marketing can be subjective, and you need to follow clear paths. And if you don't have these exact things lined up, how are you ever going to track everything properly? So like I said, the fact that they have this foundation built is really impressive to me. You would assume most games would understand how to do this, but believe me, I've looked at so many Web3 projects. People haven't even put this much effort into their marketing plan when they have launched. And this is the pre-launch. Now, here's something that gets me excited. Talking about soft launch, 50,000 users, then 280,000 users. Then we go to global at 450,000, then 1.5 million. I mean, guys, we're already at 300,000 on the wait list. The 1.5 million doesn't seem so hard. They're going to be running ads. We've talked about this before. If they can get 1% of the Clash of Clans player base in this game, we're in for a wild ride. Well, 1.5 million users is pretty close to that. So this is launch. We're not even talking about the growth of the game. I think this is very possible to do, and I think they can actually blow some of these estimates out of the water. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I just wanted to give go through it, give a recap. Like I said, my takeaway is from a marketing consultant's perspective myself, I really like how they've laid this foundation out. It's impressive to see that they've executed on the ads already. They're getting really good cost per acquisition, lower than industry standard. It shows me that they know what they're doing. And I think we've got a really good marketing potential here for this game to get out to the masses. Let's see how they execute on a lot of other stuff. I'm definitely going to be following their marketing strategy very closely. I'll keep you guys up to date with it. And of course, as always, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to stay up to date with all the great Mavia content we have coming out on a consistent basis. Smash that like button so it helps the YouTube algorithm and our channel grow. And of course, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about their marketing plan. Do you have any questions about this? I'd love to hear it. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Until next time, cheers.